Hello boys, my name is Yoshi. Welcome back to my blind playthrough of, well, rather, I guess my normal playthrough of Rabbids, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle for Switch. We left off in World 1, Ancient Gardens. We basically went through all the tutorials the game has to offer, doing a whole bunch of stuff along with it, and now we I can continue on and do some more stuff. Let me just say, this game does have quite a long intro, taking about almost 50 minutes just to do the chapters is quite a long thing, but don't worry, the game will speed up quite a bit now that we've gotten through that, though some of the levels could take a bit longer. Who knows? Right now, though, our goal this session is to get through Ancient Gardens completely. It is vital that we stop the rabbit who integrated himself with the Super Merge before he creates any more atrocities. I've received another message from our mysterious friend. Let me read it to you. Congratulations, people. You've successfully led your party through the trials and travails via Rabbids himself. Finally, someone gives me the credit I'm due. This, of course, is mainly due to Mario and your rabbit friends, whose skill in battle you vastly underestimated. Yes, well, though, as with Adius, there are rougher waters ahead. Therefore, I feel the time has come to bestow upon you some new tools for your arsenal. So, what he's talking about is actually special abilities. So, this isn't a strategy game without special power-ups or abilities you can use. Henceforth, in addition to being able to move and fire upon your adversaries, you will each be able to perform one other action during the natural course of combat. To Mario have given the gift of Hero Sight. When activated, you will be able to strike at foes within range, even outside of the normal succession of events. To Red Peach, I give you the gift of Shield. When used, it will ward against most weapons damage. At Luigi, I grant Super Better. Protects against enemy super effects. It could also reduce damage. Super effect is basically this game's version of a debuff, which means they won't be able to debuff Luigi at all, and this could actually come in handy for some later parts of the game. As for how to most effectively use your new gifts, I'll leave that to you to discover for yourselves. More gifts will come in the future. With anticipation, your biggest fan. Alright. Our incognito ability to give us exactly what we need at the right time is uncanny. Remind me not to play them at Go Fish. Alright. Now we're on to World 1-4.
Oh.
I don't want to waste too much time in this first chapter, so I'll try to get through stuff. Check out those suspicious covers. They have the same super effect symbols most weapons have. They look ready to explode or something, using weapons within close proximity to them. Although, these aren't always traps. In fact, more often than not, they actually help you out, because some of them will make enemies just get completely destroyed by stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you might have guessed, if we hit an enemy that's next to a enemy that is next to one of the push blocks that we saw in that side area, it automatically pushes them. You don't have to worry about that. It means we can use them to just guaranteedly push two enemies off the map right away. Anyways, we're gonna put two of our characters right next to cover. We'll go ahead and Luigi Super Berry up. It does also reduce damage that enemies deal too, but there's another main shield that we're gonna want to do. By the way, get used to seeing our setup like this, because this is going to be a priority thing we do a lot. Starting in the next rounds or so, we're going to have Rabbid Peach being the front lines, taking most of the real hits for us, using their shield to protect her. And our other characters will be mostly focused on damage instead. Because she has a shield to protect herself, so she takes 40% less damage from everything. So we want to use that whenever we can. We still don't get a chance to do other stuff. I decided I'm going to move Rabbid Luigi first. Because I'm worried he might not even be able to hit this Siggy. Okay, no, actually. We can at least attempt to hit him. Okay, that missed completely. We have to get a crit to take this enemy out. As you might have guessed, yes, this game does have critical hits as well. There'll have to be times where we'll need to get a critical to... We'll have to not beat an enemy a turn early. Okay, that worked out in our favor. We could just switch to Rabbid Luigi and have him finish off the battle now. Yeah. That's cool. Now, I do have a very specific route I'm going to be building with our characters. So much so that Rabbid Peach might end up becoming more important than you might have initially thought, because later on in the game, she becomes one of the most important characters in the game, so it's very important that round. Strange. Though it looks like there's only 2 of those rabbit mark covers, my sensors detect 4 of them. Watch out, they may be disguised as normal covers. Not like we can do anything different, though. Yeah, we can't even enter the pipes on the first turn anyway, so how were we gonna use those covers to our advantage? Probably not at all. Since Rabbid Luigi has less movement, I'm gonna move him first just to make this easier. And to not risk running someone into something weird with the push, we'll just try to push this enemy instead. Okay, missed, unfortunately. We'll put his shield up. He might take some damage. We're not going to put it up on Peach this time, because Rabbid Peach is not going to really take much damage unless something really messes up. Now if we set up Mario to be like this, we can have him right behind this pipe. Okay, you can only fire at these 2 enemies. Go ahead and fire at this enemy. Mario time! So this will probably be our first time we get to actually see Hero Sight get used. Right, I'm not gonna put on Rabbid Peach's barrier yet because she's still behind cover. Go ahead and pass turn instead. Now here you can see the effect now. When any character tries to move, Mario's Hero Sight is active, they will immediately get damaged, guaranteed. There's also abilities later that'll let us trigger the ability twice. Also, you might have noticed, one cool thing about being behind a pipe is it is basically an unbreakable cover, so it's a very easy way to guarantee that you won't take any damage from enemies. If for some reason you're trying to scheme without doing any damage, which, by the way, there's no way of actually doing that, and you'll see what I mean in a minute later. We'll come up to that part later, but not right now. I'm gonna set up a Rabbid Peach like this, with her shield active now on turn 2. Let's see. We do not have enough range to dash an enemy, unfortunately. There's also no reason. Dash an enemy, so we'll just put those 2 together. We'll try to see if we could get a key push on this enemy here. Oh, we got it. That's really cool, honestly, seeing them just get pushed off the map completely. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't kill him fully, despite being a critical attack. Let's go ahead and finish off the enemy we know we can defeat first. We should be able to finish off this enemy in the upcoming turn. Okay, figures he's not going to target Rabbid Peach at all, so that shield ended up being useless. Oop, that's not the pipe I want to go down. This one. Like here. By the way, you cannot speed up your own turn, but you can speed up the enemy's turn. In case you didn't already know this. Alright. Okay. Another chapter cleared nice and easily. And see that golden trophy there? Yes, by the end of the playthrough, we'll be getting that on every single chapter. Though we might not necessarily get it at the end, but don't worry, there are waste stats, so we will be potentially chapters later to get that stuff, and you'll see why in a minute. Oh, by the way, there are things you can examine. Like, you can do this. I have so many questions here. Perhaps they're better left unanswered. Yeah, you can examine things in the world. I just thought it'd be cool to show you that. Alright. On another hand, time for the first puzzle of the game. This is basically a giant maze that you have to go through to get a bunch of coins and some other stuff, but it also has treasures here and there that we can grab. We are trying to go for 100%, so of course we're going to need to grab every treasure at least once. Before I go there, however, I think I'm going to go around this way first. Because I need to go and get this coin thing over here. Oh yeah, you could change the zoom on certain things too. You two, stop that. Someone's gonna get hurt. Oh yeah, this is another thing I forgot. You could zoom the camera around to look at the world in like full 3D, which is nice. Okay, I'm not gonna get that stay away because we're trying to go for this instead. Some of the red coin challenges later do get a little bit tough, but in that, the only thing that makes them annoying is, you might have noticed, yes, there is no noise. Usually when you collect a red coin, there's a big music tone that plays, and sometimes even a tunes that plays for a while. You don't see that at all in this game, so you don't really know where exactly to go, or more specifically, what to do. I guess it's less about that, is like, you don't really have an indication of time until you hear that sound at the end. Probably indicating that you're getting close to ailing a challenge, if you know what I mean. This is probably the first really tricky red coin maze, in case you haven't noticed. Since you have to go through the maze to get this done, it can be very tricky. This is where I missed the coins. You can tell I haven't played this game in a while. Despite playing through this at least a few times to get used to it, I still took a while to get that, but that's fine. That happens to the best of us sometimes. Don't worry, I'm fine. Okay, I am gonna change the order slightly that I do this. I'm gonna get this chest first, and then I'm gonna go and get the golden chest after that. That thing we just found. Also, that rabbit with light bulb is pretty cool. Anyway, decided I'm gonna get that chest first, then go to the chest we just found. Over here. Oh yeah, that's right, we can't even go here. Annoyingly enough, you can't skip this maze, so you must go through it. So having to around a very particular way to have around it is just really, really annoying. And by the way, we didn't even fund the exit yet. We specifically took this route so we can get the Rainbow Runner and a bunch of other weapons. I guess the other chests too. So now to actually save, we have to go out here. There we go, we're finally out. We get to something with a golden icon. Anyway, we hear a mysterious voice, which could only be one setup. That title's also very foreboding. Brother, where art thou? Mario did lose Luigi pretty early on, so perhaps that is what we are looking for. And we already were told that there's a Rabbid Peach and a Luigi, so it makes sense that the real versions are still out there too. This time we're on higher ground compared to our enemies. Did you know that you're getting a damage bonus when you attack from above? Fire upon an enemy from this vantage point and see for yourself. Make this easier, I'm just gonna fire on the Ziggies first. Now later on we're gonna have to start doing a priority attack to which enemies we're gonna take out first. By the way, that was a very unlucky damage roll. We did not take him out in one shot, which is kind of annoying. We're getting stronger to the point where we can almost take them out on one turn. Well, we're gonna take out the enemy we can easily defeat first. Even though we could have gotten a finish combo with it otherwise. Not really any point in using our shields right now. And for the Ziggy first, because he has less health, unfortunately nothing happened. I don't know why I used the shield there, I probably didn't need to. Oh nice, we took him out with the hero sight crit. Okay, well that one got around our cover. Okay, we should probably focus on the enemies that are closer to us. You might have noticed this chapter has a golden star. Well, this is one of the chapters I mentioned, I think, before, where the game could actually get more difficult now. Alright, since you have the better... So I'm gonna try and go for a crit. Unfortunately, that did not work. Go ahead and use your barrier now. Since that didn't work, we're gonna next to this enemy, but focus on the Ziggy first. Oh great, we don't have a good way of dealing with that enemy right there. Trying to move Mario in such a way where he doesn't get damaged, but be a bit trickier than I thought. Alright. Okay, okay, that one's going for Peach instead, but... Or rather, Rabbid Peach, that is. Okay, I'm just gonna keep Mario behind cover. He's taking a bit too much damage. The one problem is, you'll see that Mario, as this one problem that I'm gonna go over later. Alright, I'm just gonna... Actually, wait. I probably shouldn't have moved like that. Oh, no way I can fix it. I'll just... That's right, I'm just gonna hit this enemy with Luigi instead, and you two are gonna surround this enemy. Instead of, wasting time, we're gonna go for another push. There we go. Alright, we got the push, so we don't even have to do anything more with Mario. We can just leave him behind cover. The point was I was gonna leave him behind Mario behind cover so he doesn't take much damage. And let the other two clean up the work. Alright, anyway. Almost done. You wanna know why this is a golden chapter icon, and why I was worried a bit about our HP? Thankfully we do get a mushroom to heal ourselves up, by the way. Speaking of which, the mushrooms are the only way we're going to be able to heal up in this mode, since we are, of course, playing with the extra health, which means it isn't technically a full heal. Later, we can set it up so that mushrooms fully heal us, but there's not really a point to using that, sort of. I think it's more of a thing that probably benefits Mario more, because, well, obviously, there's a big problem with him. I'll mention that later, though. It's coming up soon. Anyways, you want to know why this chapter had a golden icon? That's because apparently Luigi's trapped here. And also, I'll just let you see it. It's easier said than done. Alright. Oh yeah, oh by the way, there's that super merge, Rabbid, by the way. Rabbid, Pat. So you ever wonder why this had a golden icon to it? Well, that's because there are mid-bosses in this game, and there'll probably be regular bosses too, but yes, this game has 2 bosses. Boss and a normal boss that you have to defeat before you can finish off the world. And they're all pretty tricky to do, too, so it's gonna be any easier. Thankfully, the strategy is fairly straightforward for this first one. It's honestly really not much of a problem at all. But it does have a particular setup that we have to carry out if we want to be victorious. Anyways, there's a very particular setup we want to do for this chapter. The first thing we want to do is get our main character, Mario, and Rabbid Peach both higher cover at the very start of the battle. There's actually a strat where you probably want to go on the left, but I've decided to go on the left this time because I just think it's special. I don't know why. But anyways, the key to this battle seems to be to just go on the high ground right away because obviously you do more damage from there and you have a lesser chance of getting hit. And that's also very important because this enemy is really annoying. We also want to particularly split our characters up in a very particular way that I am doing right now so that neither of them are within a specific amount of range. And you'll see why. Actually, well, yeah, I think it'd be better to see for yourself. Alright, I'm not going to use any of my super effects the first couple turns. Now, we don't actually have to defeat any of the enemies here other than itself. That's actually one cool thing. When you battle a boss, you only just have to battle it and nothing else. Anyway, you might have noticed just briefly, but yes, this enemy has an area of effect attack, meaning it'll hit anything near it and pretty much anything close to it directly as an immediate counterattack if you let it get nearby at all. so I think it's just easier to show the Tacticam. This enemy has a massive range, and it also has a much bigger damage output. Its attack is also ranged, so if we have multiple characters nearby, they'll just get comboed into, yeah, it really gets crazy. There's also another annoying problem, which you might have already noticed right away. This enemy doesn't care a crap about where you're hiding at all. That means, regardless of where you are, he will guaranteedly hit you every single turn. There is no way to counter this. He will always attack someone every single turn. So a lot of range, that means he can do a lot of damage. Now, for the safety of my video, I'm gonna finish off this other Ziggy so we don't have to deal with him firing every turn too, but ideally you could beat this fight without even having to worry about the other enemies. Just focus on the Rabbids plant, and that's how you'll take them down. Alright, anyway, we're gonna pass the turn to the enemies since Rabbids can't really do much of anything. Anyways, you might have noticed, yes, this enemy is an AoE-based enemy, so he will just non-stop hit enemies constantly. That could be very tricky to do. Okay, well, we're almost done. We can just get off this part. We can maybe get closer to defeating him. I'm gonna actually use this now, because I haven't done much research on this area. There could still be another trap. Our friend did mention there was traps sometimes nearby, so it's possible there could be a big problem if we go too far. But anyways, the biggest strategy here is you want to either stay very separate from the Rabbids plant, or rather separate yourselves in a way that you never allow yourself to be comboed by the enemies. If you let them just attack you normally, you'll just take way too much damage. And also, as you might have noticed, cover does absolutely nothing to this boss. In fact, it means zip to him. He will be able to hit you no matter what, so you're better off just not standing behind cover at all. There is technically probably still a way to not have him. Alright, also, yeah, as you can see, I did show that he does have a burn effect as well, too, so he'll sometimes make you run around. And that can be very messy. That's actually why I used Rabbids and Luigi that way. Thankfully, he was an agent for Rabbids and Luigi, despite knowing that, Luigi cannot be hit by that effect. Now, what that effect would have done was it basically make us run around a lot, like a burn effect. But not like a Pokemon status where it does more damage over time. Just something that makes you run around and panic. Anyway, that's our first mid-boss defeated. The biggest strategy with this one is just get to higher ground immediately, keep two characters on higher ground, and then have one character typically bait out the attacks. The easiest way to do this is to just use Rabbids Peach and move them closer, because the AI does have a weird trick about it. They have a tendency to focus on the character closest to them, or an attacker they can hit. But for some reason, they seem to prioritize anyone who's directly next to them. So if you purposely move one of your characters to be in range, they'll often hit them instead. At least for cover stuff. Remember that for later chapters. Anyways, Luigi's back now. So yeah, we have different characters to rescue, and we just rescued our first one. I mean, regular Luigi. Mario and Elise, Lyle, Rowan. Or, well, all the same, well, this guy, people cannot get this guy's name right for some reason. Anyways, yeah. That's that part done, though. Tricky chapter, but we got through it all the same. Alright, we're getting a lot of coins, and now Luigi's joined our team. We also locked access to a co-op campaign. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that for our episode, since actually getting a co-op partner could be a bit tricky. Most of this game will be focused on the single player aspect. Also, we get access to skill trees from doing this. I have a particular setup that I am going to build for this as well. First thing I'm going to do is try to get each character's unlocked right away. Now, one thing that is cool is you can reset town points whenever you want. You don't have to spend money, so you could have very particular builds for just specific missions, like a movement-based one for movement-based missions or stuff. And that's actually what I think I'm gonna do, but for now, we're gonna actually focus on trying to get each character their secondary weapon first. In addition to a regular weapon, there is a secondary weapon as well. Each person gets one, and it can be very tricky. Alright. So, yeah. That's actually the main important reason why we're trying to golden every single mission. Because, yeah, there are skill points as well, and the only way to get the best amount of skill points is to get other stuff. Anyways, Luigi also has a super powered weapon, the Boom Broom. And of course, now that we get access to secondary weapons too. This is often our priority and something we definitely want to lock early when we can. Because, so the primary weapon, secondary weapon gives us a lot of options when it comes to extra damage. And it's different for each character. It's like Mario now gets a melee-based weapon, which has the ability to bounce, which is interesting. I'll just go ahead and get this one for now. Because of what we did, we don't need to necessarily upgrade any of our other weapons, so we'll just focus on upgrading the secondary weapons we have for now. Another thing we could do is, now that we have more than one character, we can build a different team, and I am going to be building a particular team for this next set of missions. We can do Rabbit Peach and regular Luigi. Now, you might have noticed that's the problem with Mario. He can't be removed. You must have him in every single battle, in every single chapter. That is why, that is the one problem with him, is that you have to keep his HP up. And remember, one of the attributes for getting gold in every single mission requires that not a single teammate gets defeated in any of the battles. If that happens even a single time, you either have to replay the chapter later or restart the mission battle at which it happened and redo it all over again to get it to work. So yeah, kind of annoying if you ask me. So with that in mind, we have to be kind of cautious on how we use our teams. But thankfully, you don't have to do this right away. In fact, you can change it in mid-mission if you want, which is pretty cool. Alright, anyway, we're gonna continue on with this team. But anyways, that was the one problem I mentioned about Mario, is he cannot be removed from the team ever. So you must have him in every single battle, and this often can really mess with certain battles. Because of that, you have to really watch his health, or it gets really problematic. Anyways, second bonus area of the game, or sub-mission, whatever you call it. Pretty easy as always. And you get a new weapon for someone. It's gonna be these spikes, right? But Luigi already has a pretty good weapon. Which we can't really do much with it. But that's fine. We'll be okay, right? Okay, there's a red point thing, but we can't do anything there yet. Honestly, I think one of the coolest parts of the game is not just the combat, but like some exploring you do as well is just really cool. Okay, this seems to be locked behind doing a red coin thing. But this is locked behind something else. Where is the switch at all? I know there's a switch back somewhere. I think I missed it. Yeah, it's probably back here somewhere. Okay. Oh, here's a switch. Finally. Alright, we should get... There we go, we found the link. So now we should be able to get the other switches too. Alright, let's keep going now. Of course, each of the chapters have a lot of cutscenes, and early on, the first chapter of the is fun, despite being one of the shorter chapters in the game, so yeah, it's gonna take a little bit. This game's gonna take quite a bit, but we'll get through it, I promise. Alright, now the problem is, where the heck is this red thing at? I'm looking everywhere for it. Oh, and of course we can't really do anything, because we need the push blocks. Okay, so it doesn't look like we can find anything here. I am trying to find a upgrade to that sub-weapon for Luigi. Unfortunately, did not find anything. Now, one problem for Luigi, you might have noticed, yeah, his health is pretty low. So we're gonna need to have it behind cover pretty much constantly. The good news is he has some really good moves that are stronger than any other character up to this point. And anyways, now that we've collected some new weapons, we can do all sorts of various things. Like, Mario now has a melee attack. We're not going to use that right away, but I just thought I would mention that because it is cool. Okay, I'm going to go from this side. Hit the enemy, we can, of course, guaranteedly hit, because that's easier than not doing anything. Since we're trying to play safe, we should probably just move everyone behind the shields. Luigi in particular needs to behind the shield pretty much the whole time.
Let's go.
Now the big gimmick with Luigi is to make up for his low HP. He has the best any character in the game. So he can move very fast, and we actually will need his movement later for a couple of minutes. Oh yeah, that's another thing that can happen, by the way. Randomly, you'll get golden shots. They're basically shots that give more money. Not much else to say. Okay, I don't want to do nothing, so I'm going to have him behind, I guess, 50% cover facing this way. I'm trying to move my characters in such a way where Luigi doesn't take damage, ideally, because, as you might have guessed, not only do the enemies have random firing spots, but it's random who they go for. They could pretty much go for anyone they want. Ideally, we want Luigi to take not much damage. As you might have guessed, Luigi's like a flash cannon. He can take what he does has the least amount of health, but he does way more damage with all of his attacks. Alright. I'm gonna move him behind cover. You give a chest to behind cover every time. One thing that is cool, you can see who is able to hit each other, depending on where you go. Okay, so one thing I am going to do with Luigi is first attack normally. Try to destroy this guy's cover. For no reason whatsoever. Just because I said so. let's go over here first. Okay, that's not the best movement. I'm trying to find a way to keep my airters in cover, but at the same time not have them take any damage, and that's kind of hard to set up when this many characters to set up. Alright, good. We got a critical Aseus there. You're the most vulnerable advantage, so we'll have you use your shield. Okay, good. At least Mario avoided some shots there. Alright, we're gonna have you charge in and take this enemy out here. Now we need to get Luigi up to cover as soon as possible. Throw him over here. Okay, thankfully you can hit this enemy from a long distance, so we'll go ahead and do that. And Luigi's effective bounce kicked in, which knocked that enemy clean out of the map. And it's actually also what the best part about Luigi is he has higher damage due to exchange for lower health, so he can actually one-shot those hoppers, whereas our other players cannot. Alright. Just one enemy left. We'll take it out and then move on. Also see that mushroom over there. We'll get that as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab that mushroom and then we can move on. Oh yeah, it's actually down here. Let's do that. Alright. I'm gonna move on to this battle now. Alright, this is a pretty tense battle. As you can see, there's an enemy called the Chain Chomp here. It's in kind of a weird stance. My readings are accurate, that's a Chain Chomp. Maybe asleep now, but as soon as it senses our presence, it'll wake up eager to bite us. Or one of those enemies. Really, a Chain Chomp doesn't discriminate. It'll just zero in on the closest target. The good news is a Chain Chomp will only charge once we have completed our turn. This is a pretty simple battle to set up. Later on, these kind of trap gimmick puzzles, this is actually the biggest mechanic, is the fact that this is a gimmick puzzle battle thing. Essentially, there's forms of different battles we can get now. Regular battles and gimmick battles. We already kind of saw one that was sort of a gimmick battle, but not really. It was basically a battle with a different effect. Oh, are you kidding me? That enemy survived with just a sliver of health. I was trying to take him out. Now the turn is gonna become really messed up almost. I'm doing a very particular setup in case you're curious. I'm trying to do a setup that takes out one of the enemies right away. Two, actually. But damages another. Because we want the Chain Chomp to only bite the runes if possible. Because that's the best way we do most damage. Now Luigi's in an awkward spot, so he's gonna potentially get a chat. No, we'll just have to try anyway. Alright, good. I'm just glad that I hit the enemy. That pseudo tap was just to show off. Anyways, we want to hit this enemy exactly one time. It's because it has 90 HP and the Chain Chomp does 75 damage. So if you set it up like that, Chain Chomp will just finish him off for us, and Luigi's dash will do the rest of the early damage that we need. Now we just have to deal with the remaining enemies. Fortunately, there is no other way we can get around this setup, so the Chain Chomp is going to be aimed at a different character. This time, Luigi. So you don't want Luigi to get targeted. Now, it will change depending on who's closer. So we need to kind of move our characters in a way so the Rabbids will only ever be the closest target. However, Rabbids don't really care what to do. They'll just kind of go wherever sometimes. As this is an AI battle system, they can move pretty much wherever the heck they want. So sometimes they'll just be in a really awkward spot and there's not a lot you can do. Okay, we do have a nice double attack set up here, so we'll go ahead and use Luigi, move him as far away as we can put him, and go ahead and throw this so that, so yeah, Luigi's cool mechanic is he gets like a sentry that you can use from Feather, which explodes and does a lot of damage. It's also one of the very few attacks that hits multiple enemies in this game. It is really good for doing a lot of damage quickly. Fortunately, you do not have a setup to take out this next enemy. We'll just have to move here. Thankfully, as you might have noticed, the Chain Chomp does have a limited range. So sometimes it'll just move in a very weird spot and just not even do anything. Alright, well now we can just finish the battle, so it's not gonna matter. Sometimes depending on your setup and luck with the enemies, the Chain Chomp might actually tackle 2 of them instead of just 1. Unfortunately, they did play a bit smart moving into cover right away, which did make this take a little bit longer, but we're alright. We got through. Alright. And you might have noticed, yes, while the gameplay part itself is not that long always, the very long part is having to actually go in between each chapters. That's actually what ends up taking the longest, the exploring. It's crazy. This game is a lot more exploring than you would have thought otherwise possible. Anyway, that's going to be the end of that episode, unfortunately. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe. By the way, I said that I wouldn't have 50-minute episodes, but so far they are 50 minutes. I might have to change this to just two parts now, so we'll see. For now, though, leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.